So you probably heard that the PlayStation 5's price is going to go up by $50, and this follows suits the Nintendo Switch, which is not the Nintendo Switch 2, but the old one is going up in price, and also the Xbox Series S and X are going up in price as well, have gone up in price. So PlayStation is only the latest one to do so. So the joke that the cheapest time for you to buy a PS5 with a disc drive was at launch is not a joke anymore. You could have literally gotten this 3-year-old console cheaper at launch than you are now. And I know a lot of people have to go outside and touch grass and work and are wondering, like, why is it that this is happening? What has changed recently that is making game consoles go up in price? But not only game consoles, but certain electronic devices as well. The unfortunate thing is that everything touches politics, including your hobbies. So the new administration, that is the Trump administration, has this idea of an economic plan to push tariffs onto other countries in order to kind of raise taxes and money for the United States. With the former administration and the Biden administration kind of was trying to build a manufacturing area in the United States in order to avoid these kinds of things in the first place. Because unfortunately, a lot of the products that we depend on come from other countries, including GPUs and consoles that are, surprise, surprise, not made in the United States. So the reason why you're going to see prices go up on consoles, and the reason why you're going to see prices go up on maybe GPUs that are not made in the United States, which, again, surprise, surprise, they're not. The tariffs do not punish the people who are selling this to our country, to the people in the United States, but it's more passing it on to the people that are buying that product, because the person that's going to sell that console or that device isn't going to take a hit in order to keep the MSRP at the same price. They're going to raise the price plus a little bit more for profit. Unfortunately, that is the minimum of the least bad news that you have, is that you're going to pay more for your electronics. The problem is that when these companies see the PlayStation or they see a GPU selling at an all-time high, even though they're extremely expensive, it incentivizes them to keep those prices as is. We saw something similar happen during the pandemic, where a lot of companies saw that there was a lot of scarcity and used it to their advantage to raise the price. And not only that, but to use it as a metric into the future of what they think that they could pay and get away with. This affected all produce and things that you buy, like GPUs, and also things that you eat, like fast food restaurants that people depend on, like McDonald's, because it's cheap and affordable to go to. Went from cheap to affordable to go to a luxury that people started cutting out. The same thing with GPUs, specifically ones made by Nvidia that cost $800 just to be able to play at 4K at 120 frames per second. We're seeing less people go to McDonald's, and we're seeing less people buy GPUs. While there are other outlets like GameStop that are trying to mitigate the $50 that the PlayStation 5 is going up in price, since it's the most popular console on the market right now, they're trying to incentivize people to keep buying the console, which is nice, that they'll give you $50 plus of what that console is going to be towards the console in order to mitigate that when you turn in a Switch, a PlayStation 4, an old Xbox, towards your new PlayStation 5. My best advice is don't buy these products that are overpriced if you can't get a good deal on them, because it's going to incentivize them to keep the price at that price or to push it even further. We are only seeing a backlash with GPUs with Nvidia because they're so egregious, and because people are stopping and buying altogether when it comes to Nvidia GPUs, leaving them in giant stockpiles of stores and factories with their GPUs, and also with McDonald's not making all-time high records, and in fact more than likely can be hurt by the decisions that they made on their food being priced too high and pushing it a little bit too much to where people aren't going out to eat anymore, period. The same thing can happen with consoles if we incentivize them the wrong way. We've already incentivized them the wrong way when it comes to the game prices, and us kind of just being okay with them raising the prices to $70, which I guess was reasonable for some people, but on the other hand, game prices are probably never going to come down until we stop buying them all together in the first place, and console prices will stay up if we incentivize companies like Xbox and Nintendo and Sony when it comes to these prices, even though it's not any fault of their own, but to incentivize them to buying a game or a console that is $50 more than it usually is when you're not getting a deal, when you're not getting some kind of coupon on it, is going to show these companies, look, we pushed it to $50. What's another $20 to $30 to charge on the next gen console? Be very aware this winter that you buy your consoles at a good deal and that you buy your games at a good deal. Remember, markets and trends go by what you do and how you spend your money. So if you spend your money on the wrong things and overpriced items, they will continue to be overpriced and they will continue to still keep ripping you off. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think about this tariffs increasing game prices, GPU prices, produce, consoles specifically? There was a deal in place to where GPUs weren't going to be affected with the tariffs, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be affecting pretty much everything now. Let me know what you think below, and remember, you're pretty good.